Okay, are we live? I don't know. It says live 5 seconds. So hopefully we are broadcasting live. If so, welcome to our very first live role play and script practice. I am Nichole.lavigne, Las Vegas real estate resource. I have with me the talented and wonderful Emily Brown in Raleigh, North Carolina, and her role play partner, Heather. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. I'm excited about this. Thank you for volunteering to be the first one. I apologize. We're running a little late because we had some technical problems, but hey, that's life, right? We're all figuring things out as we go. So, Emily, you are a master of the expired script in your market, is the word on the street.
You know what? That's a huge compliment. I don't know if I would say I'm the master, but I do hyper-focus calling expireds. Yep.
Fantastic. How long have you been doing it?
So it's been about 2 years. Actually feels like a lot longer than that, but I started in 2022. It was tough starting, I will say. When I first picked up the phone, it was so heavy and I was terrified, sweating. So I just got through it and I've got addicted and here I am today. So
You're kidding. So you mean you weren't a natural from day one?
I was not a natural. I don't know many that are naturals from day one. So
yeah. Well, thank you for being honest and vulnerable and sharing that, because I run into a lot of new agents that see people that have been practicing and put in a lot of work and they think, oh, I could never do that. And the truth is you can. It just took a little bit of time, right? How long did it take you till you didn't throw up in the trash can before picking up?
You know what? Honestly, for me, it was a while. I mean, I remember, I think I started towards the end of 2021, I think it was. And I remember getting on the phones and it was probably a couple months, honestly, before I started actually going on appointments and taking listings. So it was just kind of getting through that initial 2-month period of, I can do this. I know I'm probably not going to see instant results, but I'm just going to hang in there. I'm going to build my confidence. I'm going to learn the objections. I'm going to learn how to respond professionally. And then it's like, once you get that first appointment, you get that first listing, then your confidence continues to build. And then in my opinion, it's kind of impossible to fail from there. It's just at that point, it just becomes a consistency thing of just showing up and doing it every day.
Right. You have nothing to lose, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. So that's kind of, it takes a while. And I think most agents give up. They're like, oh, I'm going to do it. I know so many agents in my market, and Heather, you probably know them too. It's like they do it for a week. They do it for 2 weeks. They're like, ugh, this isn't working. I don't like this. This is boring. I'm going to, go back and wait for the Zillow leads, or I'm going to go back and wait for Heather to pass me a lead. And if you're so reliant on leads, your business is never going to grow. And I got to that point in my business where I was like, I could wait for the leads to come and I can sell 25, 30 homes a year. That's a good income, but I wanted to do more than that. And so I knew I had to pick up the phone and call people to actually make some major headway in my business. So
yeah, and you probably make way more money on the expired leads that you generate yourself than taking a team lead, right?
Exactly. Yeah, the team leads are great and I love them. It supplements my business, but there's nothing better than actually being able to get something from nothing, to literally pick up the phone. It costs nothing. I mean, yeah, we pay for dialing systems and services that cost a little bit of money to pull that data, but it's more fulfilling for me to be able to just take something out of nothing. So,
fantastic. Well, without further ado, let's let Emily showcase what she does on a daily basis to connect with expired listings. And Heather's going to be her cranky, I haven't sold in 6 months seller. And let's see how that goes in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Thank you.
All righty. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi. Is this Heather?
Yeah, this is Heather.
Hey, Heather. My name is Emily Brown. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you're well aware that your home came off the market today. And I was just calling to see, is your home still currently for sale, or did you accept an offer?
Oh, we're not interested.
You're not interested? Okay. I want to be respectful of your time. I'm calling at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, so I'm sure you're in the middle of your work day. Real quick, I know your neighborhood really well. My office is right down the street from you. We're right off Kilder Farm and Cary Parkway, and I know you're in Lockmere. I saw you sat on the market for 120 days. If you don't mind me asking, just for my own knowledge, what was your experience like during the time you had it listed?
I mean, we had a couple showings, but yeah, I just think with the rates right now, it's just not going to sell.
Yeah. Okay. So you only had on the market for 120 days. And when you say a couple, you really only had two showings?
I mean, there were maybe like 3-4 showings. You know, we had some interest.
Interesting. Okay.
I think
You had some what now?
I said we had some interest, and I think we almost had an offer, but you know, it would just, you know, they weren't going to give us what we wanted, and I think our home is worth more.
And you feel like the home is worth more. Okay. Well, I can certainly understand and appreciate that's probably very frustrating for a home to sit for 120 days and to only have a few showings. If my husband and I were in your shoes, we'd be irate and furious and probably just done with the process altogether. If you don't mind me asking, where were you planning on moving to if the home did sell and you could, sell it at a price that you were comfortable with? Were you guys staying in the Cary area or were you relocating?
We didn't really have to move. We just kind of wanted to see if, we could get the price we wanted. And, we're kind of thinking about maybe downsizing, but I mean, we can hang on to this for a while.
Oh, good. Okay. So that's a good position to be in. You're not desperate. No one has a gun up to your head. You don't have to sell, but if you guys can get the price that you want, it makes sense right now at this period of time in your life to go ahead and downsize and move to something different.
Yeah, we want to do it before, it gets to be too much to move, but, we're not in a rush.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, have you guys already been out kind of browsing homes or have you been looking at what's on the market to see if there's anything that piques your interest from on the buy side?
Yeah, we've kind of looked and I think we're probably just going to buy some land and maybe build on.
Oh, okay. So you guys are switching gears and thinking you may want to actually build now.
Yeah. I mean, we're exploring it, but we got to see what we can get from our home first.
You got to see. Okay. So let me ask you this, and I'm just really curious. If you were absolutely confident that your home would sell, and obviously I haven't dug into the numbers, so I'm not going to, stand here and tell you exactly what I feel like I could sell your home for, but I saw it came off at 700,000. So let's say if we could sell your home tomorrow for 700,000, I had a buyer. I don't have one with me right now, but let's just hypothetically say I had a buyer with me and they were raising their hand, ready to write an offer. Would you be willing to sell the property for the price that you had it listed for?
Yeah, well, I think I need to talk to my agent about that. I mean, it's my wife's friend and we don't want to really, I would just feel bad.
You don't want to rock the boat too much. Okay. You took the words out of my mouth. That was my next question. I was just curious, how did you happen to pick your last agent?
Yeah, it's just, it's somebody that my wife knew and, we just really want to, stick with her. I mean, it's somebody we go out to dinner with a lot and, I just.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, so I can certainly understand and appreciate that. It's hard to, let go of or, cut ties with friends or family members. So I can appreciate and understand. And honestly, a lot of the homes that I list, it's ironic, the first go around, sometimes the second go around, they listed with a friend or a family member or neighbor. And unfortunately didn't get the results that they were hoping for. So I'm not here to step on your agent's toes and say they were good or bad. But the home sat for 120 days in one of the hottest real estate markets of all time. I don't know if you're well aware, but we have less than a 1 month supply of inventory in Lockmere. I know that area like the back of my hand. The average days on market is 14. So what you said previously was that you only had a few showings. So it's piques my interest. I'm really curious to know, how we can kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, figure out why the home didn't sell. I'm going to be in your area later this afternoon around 4:00. Would you mind if I pop by just for 10 or 15 minutes? I certainly understand you and your wife are not looking to get the home back on the market immediately and you guys need some time to kind of refresh. Would it be okay if I stop by just for 10 or 15 minutes, introduce myself, take a look at the home, and then we can kind of figure out a game plan going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's kind of messy right now. I haven't cleaned it up.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that. I wouldn't expect it to be perfect. So, well, let's do that. I'm going to text you my contact information when we get off the phone so you've got my cell phone. And if you don't mind, I'm going to send you an email with just a little bit of information on myself and team. If you have some time to do a little due diligence on us, I think you'll be happy with what you see. I personally, this past year, and this isn't to pat myself on the back, but I helped over 30 expired listings. So folks like yourself whose homes failed to sell, frustrated, aggravated with the process. I came in. We figured out a game plan to actually get the home sold, and we got it done. So, like I said, I'd like to just give you some other options to consider if it's something you guys are looking to do down the road.
Yeah, sure. We'll see what you have to say.
Okay, great. Well, what's your email?
It's heather@callteam.com.
Heather, okay, perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to shoot you an email. Again, my first name's Emily. I'm with Call Group Residential in Cary. And I'm going to also follow up with a text, and I'll plan to see you around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
All right. That sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Heather. I appreciate you taking my call. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amazing job, ladies. Thank you so much for demonstrating. And Heather, you were not easy on her. Like, I appreciate you giving her a couple of different objections. I heard my agent, as a friend in the business, which Emily, you handled that so beautifully. I love how you tied in your market stats. You know how many homes are on the market, the average days on market, and you know how to use those in your dialogues. That was so well done. I also wrote down how you really like diffused her at the beginning, and then just very conversational. I see why you're so good. You're so conversational. It sounds like you're talking to your best friend. Do you feel like that, Heather?
Oh yeah. And she's never sounded salesy. Like, I've watched her grow and, seen her on the calls, and she just keeps asking more questions in a very like even keeled tone. So they don't think she's getting like too excited about the sale, or like she genuinely, even on a personal level, like when I talk to Emily, she'll ask me questions that make me feel like she's interested and that she cares. And I think that that's where she has so much success with this is, staying with that even tone and not sounding too salesy, and, just digging deeper and asking the questions and giving them that information.
Absolutely. That was my next point, Heather. Thank you for beautifully segueing, is that when you asked questions, it didn't stop at the regular script of, so when you get this home sold, where do you plan on moving? You really dug into motivation. So you think, are you staying locally or are you heading out of town? So you're thinking about building now. What does that look like? Like, she really, you feel like the most important person in the room because she's so curious naturally and inquisitive about your goals. It has nothing to do with call group or, selling the house or anything. It was just all about the customer. And that was so, I can't stress that enough for anybody listening, of how important it is that it's all about them. It's not about us and their goals. You demonstrate.
I don't know if that's something that I naturally just latched on to. I think that's the feedback that I would get from the expireds. They would say, I'll ask them now, like, why did you pick me? And they're like, well, you actually came from a place of curiosity and you actually seem to care. And most of the agents that are calling us, they're coming across so strong and aggressive. And we can tell it's just like sales breath. They just want to, just get the listing, but they don't really care about our situation.
Yeah.
And so,
commission breath.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to be the hostile, aggressive, pounding my chest agent that's coming in to, save the day. It's just to take a step back, ask good questions, listen, and then set the appointment. So I think if people can understand that, it makes it so much easier. And Heather, you're good at that too. I've heard you on the phone.
Well, I just copy the ones I'm around, but
yeah, but you have that same demeanor when you talk to people. You're the same way. You really do care about them, and I think maybe it's a female thing. I don't know, but
good. Like, if I'm too salesy or if I'm trying to be too, word by word on the scripts, it's almost, if I sound more confused, they open up better, confused and questioning.
And it gives you time to think when you ask questions. You're like, shit, I don't know what I'm going to say. So I'm just going to ask a question, buy myself some time to regroup. So that's kind of the key.
Yeah. That's a great pro tip for anybody new and starting out on the scripts. Is just, when I started learning the scripts, I was taught to repeat, approve, and ask another question. And so when I would also be fumbling and jumbling, I would basically practice on anybody around me at repeating and proving, like in the line at the grocery store. My partner at the time, like, my kids, I would be like, oh, well, that's interesting. You had a bad day of school. So what happened? Repeat, approve, and ask another question. And not only did all of my personal relationships improve, and I made so many friends at the post office and the grocery store, but I got really like patterned in my conversations and asking great questions. So that's a really great tip. It gives your mind some time while they're talking to figure out where you want to go next.
And people love to talk about themselves, and then we don't do everybody wants to talk about themselves, and we don't do a good enough job about actually, being genuinely interested in someone else. So it's kind of like, oh, wow, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to someone actually asking me questions and caring, because it's always about them. So
sure, 100%. And, once you realize that now our human nature is to talk about ourselves, it doesn't make us wrong. That's normal. As a salesperson, we have to untrain that.
Exactly. I know. That's true. Most salespeople are chatty.
Yeah. Well, you guys were amazing. Thank you so much for volunteering your time. I know we've had a few people on here live. I can't, we're using new StreamYard software, so I haven't figured out, I don't see any comments here to respond to yet, but I will definitely tag Emily in the live post video so that if anyone has any great referrals in Raleigh, North Carolina, you can reach out to Heather or Emily. An amazing team out there. And I'm going to see both of you ladies. Heather, I get to meet you next week in person.
Yay!
Yay! So thank you again for playing with us on a wonderful Valentine's Day Wednesday morning. And I'm sending much love. I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.